This just in, kids. Facebook doesn't matter.
And that's news?
Yeah, call me a sensationalist. It's been a week. I really just wanted to say that. But it really is news, and it's not exactly that it doesn't matter, but not too far off. So this is from Marketing Dive / Retail Dive. An analyst from the research firm Forrester studied the impact of last year's advertising boycott on the platform that is Facebook. And here's what came of it. And this is a quote. Of 43 publicly traded companies examined by Forrester that participated in the Facebook boycott during the summer, only 7 saw their revenue decrease in the third quarter as compared to Q2, according to the findings by Sucharita Kodali, vice president and principal analyst with Forrester. In that cohort, the other 36 companies' revenue increased quarter to quarter. End quote. It should be noted, though, that year over year, Q3, which is when the boycott happened, revenue was down for many of the companies, but that was attributed more to the impact of COVID-19 than the boycott.
Also, Q2 sucked last year.
Yeah, nobody had a good time.
It was miserable. It was really, really bad. And then everybody got stimulus checks. It was really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are things. You should read the whole thing, the whole article, for more insight. But, I mean, we're not misleading you here. That is a takeaway.
I think, but it's just what I think of is I do, as much as we want to say Facebook doesn't matter, it's not great, it's not perfect, whatever. I've seen a lot of success with Facebook. I used to work at a company where 1/8 of our new customers came from Facebook ads. And I want to know who's running these ad accounts. And it's like, is this a Facebook problem or is this a strategy problem?
Totally valid.
You can't, they're separate things and you stopped both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the main point here too is that we're talking big companies when we looked at a lot of these boycotts like Adidas and Clorox, and they're doing a lot of other things. So don't just stop your ads because it didn't work for Adidas, for example. It's okay to test if you want to pause something for yourself and see if there's an impact. I think that's great, to have data behind your decisions, but don't just say, oh, marketing clock said Facebook doesn't matter, I'm turning it off. Please don't do that. That's not what we're saying here. I just think, especially for smaller businesses, the impact can be greater and you do need to measure that for yourself. But just an interesting thing, and also a tidbit in this article too, was that the boycott didn't super hit Facebook either. Their revenue increased 10% in July. That's according to the article, so you can read that for more details. But it's like, what was really going on there? What are these numbers? What are the math? I don't know.
And we talk about that exact same thing. All those companies that stopped advertising on Facebook were still advertising on Instagram. And as they said in their new branding where everything is by the Facebook, they're the same company, all caps.
Yes. And I don't know if I said it was ad revenue that grew 10%, but that's what it was. So yeah, that includes Instagram. So that could be it. I don't know. I just thought this was interesting, but please, yeah, as with anything you read, take it with a grain of salt, test things for yourself. But I think it is just a good reminder that we should be doing that. We should be making sure that we're not just on every network because we think we need to be. We want to, do the research, find out where our audience is, and definitely test advertising there. But look at the data, see if it's working for you, run some tests and move on if it's not, but stay there if it is working for you. Don't just remove yourself because it's trendy and everybody else is.
Right. And find your North Star too for metrics and attribution, especially with attribution changes coming. Like, know what matters to you, what should get credit. Facebook will take credit for us recommending a sponsor on our show. They'll be like, oh, credit for that. Yeah. Like, oh, give me credit. Yeah.
One
I made
for
that
me.
sale. Yeah.
Yep.
So use your metrics, use your attribution model, and use that as your North Star, not Facebook.
I was going to say that, and you shouldn't have to pause something completely to find out if it's working or not. You should be able to have attribution and tracking in a way of knowing how a channel is working, other than being like, let's see what happens if we turn it off.
If we pull our money away. Yeah, absolutely. All valid points. So yeah, this is why you come to us for the news, kids.
And one last thing, when everybody's going left, go right. So if everybody's saying Facebook doesn't work, guess what? Now's the time it'll work the best.
That's true. Everybody zigs, you should zag, right? Is that the phrase? Or when everyone zags, you should zig?
That's it. Second one. Everybody ticks, you should talk.
Like what you saw? Of course you did. If you're looking for more, Marketing O'Clock releases new episodes every Friday with digital marketing news of the week. You can subscribe wherever you consume your podcasts, or click to watch the full episode, the next news story, or read all the articles from the show.